Hey peeps, how's it going? First and foremost, before we introduce everyone, we do have a new guy on the show today, which is very special to have him. But this was going to be the last show before Christmas, so Merry Christmas to everyone in the chat, everyone watching later on today. I greatly appreciate it. But without further ado, we're gonna hop into it. First, welcome to the show, Miles. How's it going, man?
It's good, man. Pleasure to be here. Honored that you're willing to have me on, and I'll try to give some good input where I can.
You wanna plug your Twitter handle in case people like you and want to follow you on Twitter?
Sure. It's at Let's Go Miles. I just tweet here and there, nothing crazy, but I'm just here to talk Pistons and have some fun.
We appreciate you being a trooper and coming on the show. Next, certainly not last, we have the heart of the city, 313 JMO. How's it going, JMO?
What's good, man? Let's get it going, man. We got a lot to talk about with the Pistons, and Miles, just don't say nothing crazy because I will come after you.
Hey, man, I respect that.
Hey, just a little precaution. If you do any Lonzo Ball slander, JMO will come at you pretty hardcore.
So goodness,
that is just
I know he's a Pelicans fan, so
yeah, you just little heads up there.
Shoot.
So we got Micro Mike in the building. If you guys did not hear, one of his kids did have to have surgery, and a lot of you guys showed a lot of love and support to Micro Mike. They did not were not able to do the roundtable because of it. So I want to thank everyone who wished Mike well for all the thoughts and prayers. His daughter did come out of the surgery pretty good. So thank you everyone who wished him well. I greatly appreciate it. But we were going from one good story to probably a bad story to start the show out. The Detroit Pistons fell to the Boston Celtics last night, and it was not really a good game outside of the first quarter. Boston just couldn't miss. We kept turning the ball over. I believe we had 20-some turnovers, if it not more. It was pretty crazy and pretty sad, but it's been the same song and dance all season long for the Pistons of having poor defense and turning the ball over. Of course, you got to take into consideration no Blake, still no Reggie, no Luke Kennard. So we had to throw a lot of different people in there who haven't really played together yet. But Miles, I'm gonna throw you right in the fire, man. What are some of your biggest takeaways from what happened last night?
Like you said, man, defense, bro. They were just flying by us, bro. Like I swear they were getting easy layups every time. Getting open look threes. And then you look at our side, we weren't moving the ball nearly enough. All of our threes were pretty much contested or we missed them. And then we didn't get I didn't see a single easy layup, like maybe one or two, but like that's the biggest thing. And then turnovers were awful, bro. Bruce Brown started the game awfully. I know he probably has some nerves, even though that's like his home court, but he was just throwing it away, like trying to do too much, and then he never really calmed down as much as we would have liked. And then I honestly like Markieff Morris, but and he started the game. He kept us in the game in the first quarter, but after that, man, he kind of looked lost. I'm actually looking at the stats. He was minus 23 by the end of the night, and he was missing. He missed his next 5 threes, and he didn't. I saw a lot of good passes he could have made, and it just seemed like he wasn't making them. So those were some of the takeaways I saw. So
one of the biggest takeaways I'm getting from last night is that Thon Maker, yes, Thon Maker, you heard me correctly, was our leading scorer last night. And he only had 15 points.
Wait, what?
Oh my God.
You can't make this up, man. He had 15 points and was our leading scorer last night.
Holy shit.
So you can't make this up, man.
And my response to that is, when people trash Andre Drummond, this is why. That should never happen in the NBA game. Thon Maker should never outscore you.
Yeah.
Our whole team trash for that. I'm sorry.
And you know what makes it worse is that we held Kemba Walker to 2 points and we still lost by 20.
Kemba Walker was turning the ball over like every possession, man.
Yeah, he wasn't good, honestly. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like the Pistons, I feel like we were in the game, and then Jason Tatum got back on the court after being on the bench, and it was a wrap. Then he started scoring, and he started playmaking. didn't start getting to the line, and then that's when the avalanche came. Daniel Tice was out here shutting down Andre Drummond, and he's 6'9", 2 whatever. At first, I thought Daniel Tice was a center until the announcer was like, "No, this dude is 6'9", he's a forward." I'm like, how is he playing center? But it's just poor effort all around. Just poor effort. But I'm not really I'm not gonna take that game that serious. You don't got Blake or Luke or stuff like that. So
yeah, but part of it comes down to coaching. I mean, we really didn't look prepared outside the first quarter. Mihailuk's got a very similar skill set to Kennard.
He played good.
We're going to talk about him later today. You best believe it. But why aren't we getting our shooters opportunities, man? I mean, Luke Kennard at minimum needs to be shooting 15 shots per game. Whether he goes 0 of 15 or 15 of 15. You have to run plays for your shooters. We've seen what these guys can do when they're red hot. When Luke Kennard is out, you have a good replacement in Mihailuk or Langston Galloway to run some plays for. Now, defensively, they're not really good. I mean, this whole team as a whole is not good defensively, but we aren't giving them the same opportunities at all. You have to start with giving Luke, because he is your starting shooting guard, run him off of some picks, get him some open looks. When you play Blake ball, people double on Blake because they can't stop him one-on-one. You give him open looks, and then whenever someone goes out of injury, we really don't change the game plan or put these other players in position to do well. I mean, it's pretty much Derrick Rose needs to score 20 to win. Andre needs to have a 20-20 game to win if these players go out. I mean, it's getting pretty annoying not watching these young players get their opportunity. It took so long for Sekou to come into the game last night. It wasn't even funny.
I mean, Sekou should have been playing yesterday.
Exactly. I believe he had like 10 minutes. It was like 9 and some change. That's all in the fourth quarter. It's all garbage time because the game was over. It's unacceptable.
He got like 2 or 3 minutes at the end of the second, though. That was nice. But, I mean, again, it was only like 2 or 3 minutes. But at least it was when we were still in the game and it was competitive. So I like that Casey put him out there for that.
Yeah, man, I wish if you're gonna play Sekou though, man.
Just thinking about you about to piss me and Andrew off. Just thinking about what he's been doing with Sekou.
Okay, no, I overall he's a terrible.
I don't like these charity minutes. I feel like Sekou should be playing 15 minutes tonight. I'm just saying.
I agree.
He could give us scoring off the bench. He's not gonna be any worse defensively than anybody else is. So I just don't get it.
His defense, I've been watching some G League games. His defense is actually getting a little better. So, like, I think he's
supposed to be a great defensive player, but, I remember that first Summer League game, he was lost.
Oh, he was off.
Even though he did score a lot of points. But
he's gonna be good offensively and defensively. The problem is, he hasn't guarded players like NBA players, The France League, European League, all the other foreign leagues are different. Players over there are more finessed. I mean, look at Sekou. He's not a very big guy weight-wise. He's, 6'8", 6'9", somewhere around that ballpark. He's a tall guy. But when you have to guard...
Sekou was a pretty big guy.
I'm talking weight-wise, though. Like, he's pretty skinny. Like, look at Giannis, though, when Giannis came in the league. He was at the twig. He's going to get bigger. He's going to put more weight and get some more definition to him. But my point being is foreign players are more finessed and more skilled than NBA American players. American players coming into the league more dominant. People like LeBron James, which LeBron is very unique, came into the league right away and dominated in a different way of attacking the rim. Then you have people like Luka coming in the league who played overseas. He's more dominant in a different way. He's more skilled and more finessed. But when you have to guard people like a Kevin Durant, a Kawhi, Paul George, Anthony Davis, whatever it may be, you don't guard those types of players overseas. So it's a very different skill set from both sides. He's only 18. He's got to learn how to adjust with it. He's going to. And playing in the G League right now is probably the best thing for him. But if you're going to bring this guy up to the main roster, play him. There is no point of bringing him up to the main roster and having him sit on the bench, especially without a Blake Griffin. No Blake. I don't. No offense to Thon, because Thon played okay the other night, but Thon has had his opportunities. And with Christian Wood being out, you're down 2 big guys, so you're gonna have to play Thon.
Like,
but
let's be 100. Who a better basketball player, 18-year-old Seiko or Thon?
I mean, we haven't seen an 18-year-old Sekou play in the NBA, but I'm gonna go with Sekou because
I
Thon
say
has showed me
Me
Thon
too.
can't even grab a rebound, bro.
I already know he's a better scorer off the dribble than Thon. He can dribble better than Thon Maker. I don't know if he can shoot better or anything like that. But just basic scoring because Thon Maker, he's not a scorer at all. So
Bro,
then he has to rely on his defense, and we see how that is. Anybody in the league could back him down and score on him,
You know,
including point guards.
Thon better pray he never gets locked up because if he drops the soap as much as he drops the rebounds, he's gonna have a long time in prison.
Are you serious?
he better hope he never gets locked up. So you better have a clean
Bruh,
slate.
oh my goodness. But especially with Blake's injuries and Christian Wood being out, I'm like, this is the perfect time. Throw Sekou out there for 15 minutes. See what happens, you know? But I mean, at least Casey threw him out for 10 minutes. But I just don't like this slow push with some of these players that are already ready. One thing about the G League is players who are NBA ready they average 30 in the G League. Seiko's been doing that forever.
And one thing you have to bring up about it.
So
what do we have to lose about playing them? I mean, we lost last night.
That's
I mean, what's going to hurt is we're going to lose worse. It doesn't make any sense. If we're going to lose, and I understand it seems to be a new trend, and maybe it's because players are softer now. It's not just in basketball. I heard him talk about it for the NHL of not playing a lot of the young guys for the Red Wings because they're losing. You don't want to bring those young guys up in a losing culture. But if you don't bring the young guys up at all, they're never going to know what it's like to play in the league.
I think with the Red Wings is a little bit different because, like, they're historically bad right now.
Right.
But I understand what they're saying from the hockey perspective, actually. But basketball is a little bit different because, like, you can just throw them out there for a few minutes and then not play them for the rest of the game. You don't want to put a young rookie on the ice for a couple minutes, get his feet wet, and then not play. He has to be out there probably getting whooped on by the vets, and they don't. It's like really throwing a guy out into the fire like that. But it's a little bit different with Sekou because he can be playing against backups. You know, he can be playing against bench players. We ain't even asking him to play against the starters yet. I am, but you know what I'm saying.
Right. And it's not like the Pistons are an all-time bad team. I mean, they're as bad as their record is, 11-17, 11-18, whatever it is. They're only 2 games away from the 8 seed, which is the saddest thing that I have ever seen in my life. But
yeah, we're trash, man.
It's not like we're that far out from the playoffs. So
that's the sad thing. Not that we trash is because I remember somebody asked me like how good were the Pistons. I was like, oh, we're a couple games under 500. And then I looked at the schedule, and this was before the Boston game. We were 6 games under 500. I'm like, that's more than a couple. I'm like, we got to get.
And our schedule's only getting way harder. Like it's not.
Yeah, and I see B-ball. Gratian says Luke Kennard can't get up 15 shots versus NBA defenses. That's a total lie. Come on, man. I don't even know where you got that from. If you call plays for any player can get up 15 shots. If you call plays for him.
Yeah, we're just not calling the plays right now. We're not calling the picks, and I mean he does.
I said, Luke Kennard's our best offensive player. He's been since last year. He should be taking most of the shots.
Yeah, I mean, well, we had Blake Griffin. He was our best offensive player, but now so yeah.
Blake is injured right now, and
right now he's not.
Playing. No, he's definitely hurt.
Yeah. Also, what's the Luke Kennard injury again? Was it his hip?
I think it's his knee. Right?
Knee? Oh.
I thought he had some kind of
knee. It's a knee injury. If it was a hip injury, I'd be very concerned.
But it does sound like he's gonna be day-to-day. I don't think that's gonna be anything too serious. But with this team right now, it's kind of hard to tell with all the injuries. For those of you guys who don't know, it says that Christian Wood's going to be reevaluated in a week. He did not tear anything in his knee; he just bruised it. So that's a good news. Doesn't mean it's going to be a long-term injury. Just because he's going to be reevaluated in a week does not mean he's going to be returning, because they said about 3 weeks ago that Reggie Jackson is going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks, and he is still yet to touch the NBA court. And now the new rumor is he's going to be playing after the Christmas break. So I would hope so, because that leads up to the end of the season, and we really need a point guard right now in the worst possible way. But let's go ahead and transition into tonight's game versus the Chicago Bulls. It is in Detroit. It's off of back-to-back. The Detroit Pistons have to play the most back-to-back games in the entire league. I am going to be in attendance at this game, so if you guys are looking for a last-minute Christmas gift, it's not too late. There's still tickets available, so go out there and say hello to your boy. But Miles, man, what are you looking for in tonight's game? There's probably going to be no Blake, no Luke, no Christian Wood. It's probably going to be the same roster it was last night in Boston, but what are you looking for in this game tonight?
Dre didn't really do much last night, and everyone was expecting him to do, a lot of work last night, and we needed him last night. And I don't know, it's hard to say exactly what he did wrong, but I mean, he was getting blocked and everything, and he wasn't getting too many fouls called on him. So, I need to see him make an impact. I need to see, Bruce Brown not turning the ball over nearly as much, trying to, get some points up there so that people got to guard him, and get more open looks for Svi. Svi was 4 of 7 from 3 last night, so I mean he's still shooting well. So we need to get the ball to him. Man, Langston Galloway, I'm kind of scared he's hitting his slump. I don't want to jinx it or anything, but like we all know he's up and down player, and he was hot to start the season. But I think the last couple of games, I just hope he has a bounce back game. I think if he has a bounce back game, that'd be big for us.
Absolutely. You need your shooters to shoot the ball. It's pretty simple. Basketball's not that complicated of a sport. You need to score it off your open looks. We're gonna have a lot of opportunities here to push the ball because Chicago's still a young team. So we're gonna have a lot of opportunities to run in transitions. It's kind of hard to do with only one point guard though. But it's pretty simple, man. It's the same thing we've been saying all season long. At this point, don't turn the ball over. You turned the ball over 24 times in Boston the other night. That's unacceptable. You gotta come out here. You gotta take care of the ball. We're trying to be too cute and too fancy with the ball, trying to make a highlight play. Stop it. Just score the easy buckets when you have opportunities. And again, it seems like I've been saying this almost all season long. Chicago doesn't have a big body to put on Drummond. They don't have anyone to keep him off the glass. Carter is a good player to have. Markkanen's a good player, but rebounds, Andre should dominate, and Andre needs to have a good game, like you said. Do we still have Sekou brought up? If so, this could be a game Sekou plays because it's going to be a tight contested game because Chicago always plays hard against us. Zach LaVine always plays good against us. I want to see Sekou get some real, actual minutes in a meaningful game, in a good stint of it. But J-Mo, man, what are you looking for tonight versus the Chicago Bulls?
I'm looking for Derrick Rose to step up. He's been up and down in the last few games, but this is the game where I need you to put on that D Rose vintage. Oh my gosh, how did you finish that move? And I need Derrick Rose to step up. Andre Drummond, to me, he was terrible last game, and he was getting shut down by Daniel Tice. But it is what it is. He did get fouled a lot, and they didn't call it. But bounce back, man. It is what it is. Bounce back the next game. If you don't play well, that's just the way I'm trying to take the approach. I think he will play better against the Bulls. So I agree with what you said about the post defense. Yeah, none of them will be able to guard Andre Drummond. But to me, it's Dwayne Casey, man. I think we've been giving him a pass for all his losing because of injuries, like another coach. But we ain't gonna talk about that coach. But and it's time for you to call some plays, get this team offense running. Because even with the injuries of Blake and Luke Kennard, if you look at our roster, top to bottom, this roster is pretty good, in my opinion. You got Markieff Morris, you got players that can win games, even if you don't have a star out there. And I just feel like Derrick Rose and Andre is gonna have to step up, and Dwayne Casey is gonna have to coach so we can win this game.
And I think last night shows you a pretty decent gap in between Brad Stevens and Dwayne Casey. Stevens plays a lot of these young players. Dwayne Casey doesn't. But Chicago looks like they're having problems with their head coach too. Players aren't respecting him, so that's gonna I think gonna weigh a pretty big factor in tonight's matchup. But Miles, man, who you taking? Who, what, where, why, and how?
Man, I mean, I'm gonna take the Pistons. Probably a little biased, but it's home. We need this win. We really do. If everyone's got to be locked in, and I think we're gonna be. I mean, we're on the back. We're on the back end of a back to back, but I think we all got some of our nerves out in the Garden. I think we're just gonna be focused, know what we got to do, and get it done. The only thing I'm scared about is, man, every team has been shooting on us like crazy, just hitting threes off everything. So, I'm a little scared that the Bulls are going to, get a hot start. But I think if we play our game, we don't turn it over 20 times, I think we'll get this win.
And playing off a back to back is always tough in the league, especially after you play one of the best teams in the East and the Boston Celtics, and then you have to come home off a back to back and play a young team like the Chicago Bulls. It's tough. You always need rest, especially after flying back and forth between different states. So the Pistons might come out a little bit slow, a little bit stale, although they cannot afford to do so. It's time for the Pistons to stop underestimating plays and playing up and down to their competition. I thought they're going to play a little bit harder against the Boston Celtics, and they kept turning the ball over and costing themselves opportunity. You can't do that against Chicago. You have to show me improvement, that you're willing to fight. Right now you're outside of the playoffs looking in. You have to show me something. Unfortunately, I don't think the Pistons are going to win tonight. There's just too many injuries. Blake, Reggie, Luke, Christian Wood, all out. All those guys can come in and change the game at any moment. And we really haven't seen the same Andre Drummond we had at the beginning of the year. If Andre would have played the way he did the first 3 or 4 games of the season last night, we would have had a way better opportunity to win. We need Andre to play like that when we don't have these people. I think we're going to have another bad defensive night, and we're going to turn the ball over a lot. So I am actually going to Chicago because they will have an opportunity to win the season series tonight if they get this third win against us this year.
Wait, so we would have got swept, or we would have won one?
Did
we beat them?
We got to play them 4 times because they're in our division.
Oh, okay.
And we've
so
already
did we beat them
twice.
yet, though?
No, we have not. We've only played them
That's
twice.
what I thought.
And if they win, they'll have the season lead 3-0.
It looks like me and Drew are looking at this objectively. I honestly, man, the last week and a half, I lost a lot of faith in the Pistons, and I'm gonna tell you, even though they were coming off the back-to-back, the game where I was like, I don't know where this team is gonna go. When we lost to Washington, man, I'm sorry, you let a 7-win Washington team, and I know Bradley Beal was the best player on the floor, but you
That was
let
right after we beat the Rockets.
You let a 7-win Washington team come in there and beat the living crap out of you. And I was watching that, and I'm like, if the Pistons lose this game, I'm done with y'all. And they lost. Then they went on and got whooped by the Raptors. I expected them to lose to the Raptors. And then now we're here. Then they lost to the Celtics. So now we're here now against the Bulls being undermanned. I don't trust Dwayne Casey. I said Dwayne Casey was gonna have to make those right decisions. I don't trust Dwayne Casey to make the right coaching decisions. I trust a lot of turnovers to happen. I don't trust D Rose to be Superman. I'm not saying he won't have a good game. He's had plenty of good games and we've lost. I don't think that Andre Drummond is going to be Superman. I think we're going to lose this game by 8 points, 6 points. And it sucks to say that. I hope we win. It'd be very nice, but I just don't think that. I don't think that Dwayne Casey knows how to coach this team in a way to get them to get wins, because with the lineups and everything, it's because we shouldn't have to worry about this. But I just don't think that we're gonna win this game. I really don't. That's about it. That's why I want to bring up a young Sekou or a Jordan Bone so we can get a spark. We need another spark, another punch from somewhere else. And replying to E-Dog, well, E-Dog, the Pistons were injured earlier in the season. no Blake Griffin, but now that I've seen that Blake Griffin is not going to be Blake Griffin until next year. You can't get all of those, amount of knee surgeries. Like Blake Griffin literally looked like Kristaps Porzingis right now, and Kristaps just came off of ACL. They look the same, both knee injuries, but different. But so he's not going to be the same player he was last year. He's recovering from injury. I know he's out there and he's playing, but personally, I think he should rest the entire year because I feel like he needs another year to come back. And looking at this team, we were playing well without Blake. Now we're playing worse with him and without him, if that makes any sense. So I just don't know. And we lost to Charlotte. Oh yeah, that Charlotte game was the other game that. Oh my goodness.
Didn't we lose 3 times to Charlotte?
Yeah, but it was the third time that really pissed me off. I'm like, if we lose to Charlotte, I'm gonna be pissed. But we need to win this game somehow. But I just don't see it. We don't have enough. We need Christian Wood. Like we need that extra person, and we just don't have it. Who's gonna be Christian Wood off the bench? Nobody. Speed will play well. Galloway will play well, but who else?
We really don't have anyone that's hungry. I feel like Christian Wood was, like he would come in and just try to show out, and no one else is even close to doing that. That's why
you got to put Jordan Bone out there.
That's what I was gonna say. Jordan Bone, he's hungry, bro. He would come in and try his ass off. He'll put in the work, and same with Sekou. And those are 2 players that we haven't been playing that could be a spark and do something that we need to do.
You know what really grinds my gears? We have a lot of talent in the G League. We got some players in the G League that maybe in the next 2 to 3 years are going to be on the active roster and have meaningful minutes. And I'm talking about Jordan Bone, Sekou, Dante Hall. All 3 of those guys are really the big 3 right there. With Christian Wood being out for at least a week, if not more, we need a backup center. Thon, believe it or not, is really a 4. He's just he gets bullied by everyone, and he gets taken off the dribble playing the 4. I mean, Thon's really bad no matter where you put him. But why are we not giving these young guys opportunities? We know Dante Hall can get rebounds and block shots. Offensively, there might not be much, but guess what? He's explosive underneath the rim. We've seen him put people in the posters in the G League. I mean, this guy would be a good replacement for an injured Christian Wood, a high energy guy. Come out here and rim protect. We don't have much of that and get rebounds. And I'm about to lose it, JMO, man. I've been saying since Reggie has gotten hurt, play Jordan Bone. If you want to keep Derrick Rose coming off the bench, you have to start a real point guard in Jordan Bone. I love Bruce Brown. He's going to be a good player for us in the future, but he is not a starting point guard. He's good defensively, and that's about it right now. He needs more of an offensive game before he can start at point guard. It's hurting us. If we would have been playing Jordan Bone, I guarantee you we do not lose half the games that we have lost because he is the perfect point guard for this pick and roll system with Andre. You can watch his highlights, man. A lot of his shots are mid-range shots and attacking the hoop. Guess what?
And I know some of you Pistons fans might think Drew is crazy talking about if we had Jordan Bone, we would win more games. But honestly, it's about what are you asked to do. Now, if we brought up Jordan Bone and we need you to be Steph Curry, we need you to score 30 every night and ball out, then we will lose games. But we don't need Jordan Bone to come up here and average 20 points a night. We need somebody to score and run the offense.
He doesn't just score. At one point,
no, that's what I'm saying. We need somebody to score.
He was averaging 10 assists a game.
And we need somebody to score and run the offense. And at the end of the day, Jordan Bone is a better player than Bruce Brown. I mean, I know Bruce Brown's been in the NBA for a couple years, but Jordan Bone, it's like when you're an NBA point guard, you need certain skills to be an NBA point guard. Whether it's the ability to score, to shoot, play defense, or have high good passing ability. You don't have none of those abilities, you at least need to be very, very good at dribbling. And Bruce Brown can dribble, but not that well to penetrate. And Jordan Bone can do that, and he has a floater. So I don't need him to come average a lot of points. Jordan Bone can average 10 points and 7, 8 assists. We already got our scoring point guard, Derrick Rose. We just need somebody to help us and make the defense honor them. Like, we can't have, Bruce sitting on the wing all alone and nobody's guarding him.
Thank you for bringing that up, JMO, because I was just about to jump in and say that. Bringing in a player like Bone, the defense actually has to guard him. How many times have we seen Bruce stand in the corner and they don't even care to guard him? I mean, watch that Wizards game. They had Isaiah Thomas, 5 foot nothing on Bruce Brown, and Bruce wasn't being aggressive offensively. I mean, I know no one has a post game as the guard position anymore. That's pretty much gone away. But dude, come on, man. You have to be aggressive if you can't shoot. You watch, he gets compared to Russell Westbrook in a lot of ways, not skill level or talent wise, but they have similar games where he's not a great shooter. He needs to attack the rim and be aggressive, and he's just not doing it. And that's why I was kind of high on him being a point guard when it first started, because that first game he was actually starting at point guard. He was attacking the rim and getting fouls, but I haven't seen anyone, with the exception of Thon, miss so many dunks and layups as Brute. It's pretty sad.
Hey, I agree with what E-Dog said. He said start Svi at point guard. I've been saying start Svi at point guard for a year and a half.
Yeah, but
And
need him. I
have been.
feel like we kind
You
of
have
need him
been.
on the wing.
I
feel like-
remember as soon as we traded
But,
for him, you said start him at point guard. He's right. He said it.
now, like, I'll say this again. I know people like some listening might think we're crazy. We're not crazy. Look, first of all, Svi can run point guard. If you did your research, you know it. Second is he can shoot the ball. So that gives him a higher advantage. And we don't need him to be, like I said, we don't. I mean, it'd be great to have some fancy, nice point guard that can score a lot. But at this point, we just need somebody who can run the offense and score, or at least shoot. Like,
Hey,
you don't have to
Svi's
be a high volume scorer. Just be able to shoot the ball.
He's been attacking the rim too. Like he can score in other ways. So like,
He was
like-
definitely a grown man against the Raptors. Like, he went to the rack against the Raptors.
yeah, man, like
I
that's
like
big.
No, because he is 6'8", man. Like, so he's a big guy.
And
So,
he's
you
pretty,
know,
he's pretty athletic for being a white guy.
man,
Yeah,
he is 6'8", athletic white guy, as Drew said, that can pass the ball and shoot the ball. And he has improved defensively since he's got drafted with the Lakers. I can tell you that. So, just,
Hey, also one more thing about Bone. I feel like couldn't Derrick Rose be like a great mentor for this man? Like he's, they have kind of similar games. Like, Jordan Bone's just been playing in the G League. Who's mentoring him there? I feel like he could come up and have Derrick Rose teach him the ways. Like, I think that'd be huge for Jordan Bone. And I also totally agree that he's the best point. He's better than any other point guard on this roster right now, other than Derrick Rose. So
I agree that Derrick Rose would be a great influence for him, and it would definitely help him because he is. I mean, obviously, if he plays, he's gonna struggle, but I think Derrick Rose would help him.
I think that's where Derrick Rose is at mentally. You heard him talk about it when we first signed him, that he's not here to take anyone's job. He's here to help try us to win and take us to that next level. Bringing in a guy like Bone, it's perfect for him. I mean, Derrick Rose is a former league MVP and at one time the best point guard in the league. I mean, a healthy Derrick Rose, we've never seen a point guard like that. And his MVP days, it was something to watch. And a lot of people have kind of forgotten about that, especially Pistons fans who don't like the team. They dog Rose a lot, which I don't get. But he knows.
Really?
Dude, go look at some of my comments.
Nothing but love for Derrick
Go
Rose.
look at some of my comments. A lot of people don't want Derrick Rose on this team. I'm telling you, dude, a lot of people are tripping, man. I'm telling you.
I didn't want Derrick Rose on this team. So what?
Bro, he's won us like at least 5 of our games. Like
I'm like, no, you can't be serious. Derrick Rose is like what the best player on the team almost. Like,
if
what are you
I'm
talking about?
lying, dude, I'm dying, man. It's not a large majority. I'd say probably about 15 to 20% of people comment on my videos. They don't want Derrick Rose here.
I don't. Why not? I don't.
That's
get
ridiculous.
It.
That's one of the best contracts in the league right now.
Like, it's not like he. I mean, I know people have feel the type of way, but it's not like he's our starting point guard. He's our backup point guard. He's the best backup point guard in the NBA. What are we talking about?
Hey,
and if he's not the best, he's top 3. Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't want Derrick Rose on the team. That don't make sense.
Also,
it literally don't make sense
right now. Like, we got no other sparks off the bench, so
D Rose has been great, man. I feel like he's hit more game winner this year than he did in like some of his Bull seasons. Like he's been. I mean, obviously he's lost games in the clutch too because you can't win them all. But he's won us some games, man.
Absolutely. Why haven't the Pistons fixed the little things that we've done? I mean, we've struggled defensively all year. We keep turning the ball over, and I'm putting a lot of the blame on Dwayne Casey for not correcting this because we have a lot of young people playing right now. But even Derrick Rose, we were just complimenting him. Even he has turned the ball over a ton. Why haven't the Detroit Pistons corrected the little things that they're doing wrong? Because all these little things that they're doing wrong have cost them games. I'm gonna flip this one to you first, Miles. Man, why haven't the Pistons fixed the little things they're doing wrong yet?
For defense, man, I'm also confused just because Dwayne Casey isn't he focuses on defense. He'll grill Christian Wood if he misses one assignment and then take him out, but I don't know. And then everyone else, they're just getting flown by, and he doesn't really make an adjustment. So, I mean, the only one really playing defense, Bruce, some of Langston, obviously Andre. Andre is probably the best, but everyone else, I mean, SV's doing all right, but I don't know. I mean, I think they're not sticking to their man. As for the turnovers, I feel like we're just out no movement. It seems like I see people chucking it across the whole court like half the time, and then either it gets tipped or tie or whatever, or we try to throw it to someone like Thon Maker who's gonna slip out of his hands every time. We got to make sure we're making the right passes to the right people, and not in at the right times. I think it's that simple.
You're right. The last sentence you said right there, it's simple. Basketball is not that complicated of a sport, man. J-Mo, man, why do you think we haven't fixed the little things we're doing wrong yet?
One thing is you said basketball is not that complicated of a sport, and that's when we arguing about player evaluation. It's not that complicated. It's very simple to break down what certain players can do to help your basketball team. But I feel like a lot of people just don't know. And when we apply that to the Pistons, Dwayne Casey, I am so sick of this man. And it's not like he's a horrible coach because I've seen a horrible coach. He's with Pelicans, but it's like I don't know if he can take us anywhere, or he doesn't have the right roster that he can use to the full potential. Because I will give him credit for what he's done with speed, but he finally just started putting speed out there like the last 3-4 weeks, and that's only because of injury. So, and I just don't think Dwayne Casey knows how to use the player. Like I said it before, but I don't think he knows what he's doing with using these players in the right way, because I think we should be more team oriented. We should pass the ball more. There's a lot of turnovers because we don't have any ball handlers, or our best ball handler coming off the bench. Blake Griffin can handle the ball, but he's always getting blitzed, and he's slower now, so he can't do everything. Andre Drummond, you don't want him handling the ball. Luke can handle the ball, but we need somebody to shoot the ball.
Right.
And then Bruce is Bruce. So it's just like you don't have any ball handlers. Like Reggie Jackson will be useful for that, but I don't think he would lower our turnover rate because he turns the ball over a lot too. But at least you would have more ball handlers, and that's another reason to bring up Jordan Bone. That's another reason why Kyrie Thomas being hurt with his foot injury is actually a big deal. Because I mean, I'm not saying he's the best player in the league or nothing like that, but if we had Kyrie Thomas, we would be a little bit better off. He can shoot the 3 ball, and we would have somebody else to handle the ball. And not having that, and that's another reason why you bring up Jordan Bone, because he's injured. But not having that is just the reason why. But to me, this just boils down to Dwayne Casey, because it's just, I know a player has to play, but when I look at this team, I see no fire, no passion. I just don't see it. And I saw it last year, and it was because of Blake. Blake was so in his superstar type of mode that he was able to galvanize the whole team with his talent. I mean, you can do that. Certain players can do that. Like, just talent can galvanize a team that feels lifeless. But now that Blake isn't as he was, and he's still recovering, who's gonna give us that spark? It's been Derrick Rose, but he's not as good as Blake was last year, even from a playmaking standpoint. So we need more. And if your players is not gonna be the one that motivates the team, that gets you to play basketball the right way, it has to be your coach. usually a point guard is the floor general that settles everyone down. That's why I want Lonzo so bad, because he would settle everyone on the team down and probably he'd be the best defender on the team too. So that helps. But you need any point guard, D'Angelo, just somebody to settle the team down, because we're very unsettled. That's why we turn the ball over a lot, look very sloppy out there.
We got around 40 people in the chat right now, only 18 likes. If you guys are just coming in or been here for a minute, please go ahead and hit that like button. It shows us that you guys care and that you guys are appreciating the show. So that way we know we can keep doing it. Also, go ahead and give a like for Miles. You can go ahead and follow him at Twitter. He's the first time joining us on the show, so it's good to have him. It's good to guys have all you in the chat. Even though the Pistons haven't been doing good, it's good to see that you guys still care and still want to talk about this team. So with that being said, we've been dealing with injuries. I'm going to combine these two, at least double it up. Is Luke Kennard's injury affecting this team? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. It is. I mean, when you have a shooter like that and a young player that can just go out there and really get hot at any given minute, you need those players to play as much as possible. And when you don't have that, I mean, we got good replacements for him, like I said, Langston Galloway and Mihailuk. They're good shooters, but when Luke Kennard gets red hot, we've seen him take shots from Akron and Cleveland. I mean, he was pulling up from deep. It hurts the team. We don't have players like that. And the other player that's been hurt all season long is Blake. Should we rest Blake for the rest of the year? Because I don't think playing him at this level and depending on him as much as we have been, he's ever going to get healthy. And it's been a problem for Blake his entire career staying healthy. But JMO, man, how bad is Luke Kennard's injury affecting the team, and should we sit Blake for the rest of the year? Okay, JMO got disconnected.
Hey, I'll try to take it over if you want.
All right, go ahead, man.
So Luke Kennard started the season amazing, and I think a big part of that was him and Derrick Rose playing together. I think they had great chemistry. And ever since, we moved Luke to the starting lineup, which I don't disagree with, but it's now we have him playing with Derrick Rose a lot less. So I think that's been hurting he's getting less open looks, which is hurting his confidence. And then as for Blake Griffin, man, I think we should sit him personally, at least if we make the playoffs. But we were looking good pretty good at the beginning of the season. Like our chemistry was getting better and better every game. And then he came back, and obviously we would expect some growing, some transition time for him. But it never really worked. And then he got hurt again, and I don't know. He just hasn't really brought too much to this team. He's had one or two games where he really went off, but other than that, he's kind of just been a sore thumb out there.
Yeah, and with Blake is, I guess it's a spirit of Detroit, because we always like to hate and destroy our players, but a lot of people are judging him. Oh, he's trash. He's not right. And if you can't see that he's not right and that he needs to rest, then I don't know what you're looking at. Because like I said, Blake literally looks like Kristaps Porzingis. If you watch Kristaps play right now, no lift, averaging 18 points a game, he's not the star no more. But like I keep saying, with ACLs and some of these injuries, and Blake's had 3 knee injuries, man. So with ACLs and things, they always say it takes you an extra year afterwards to recover, even with serious injuries like with Gordon Hayward injury or Paul George. It takes you a year after. So right now, to be in that year where Blake should be sitting, and I mean, if we trade him, I'm not gonna trip about that, but I definitely think he will be much better next year because he'll be healthy. It's just like the man had 3 knee surgeries. I don't think he should be playing. He needs to be rested. And I know we want to win games, and he's our marquee guy and things of that nature, but I'm trying to think the best way for the future. Even if you're thinking about trading him, you will want to trade him when he's playing his best or something of that nature, So I just think he's hurt. But Luke being hurt definitely has affected us, because I don't think Luke Kennard's been right the last 2 weeks because it's the inconsistency. He was very consistent every game scoring, but then if you look at like his last 6 or 7 games, he had 22 against Houston, and then he had like 8, but he only had 5 shots, was 3 or 5. Then he had like 14, and then he had like 9 or 10 or 8 somewhere in that range, but he wasn't shooting a lot. To me, I'm looking at the amount of shots, not the point. Like you 2 of 5, 7 points. This is Luke Kennard. He's supposed to be one of our main offensive players, but the thing is, he can't move. His movement is hindered, so he can't get around all those screens and move off the basketball to get the open shots that he was getting earlier when he was completely healthy. And I can see it just with the inconsistency. So I hope Luke rests up. And we've been losing games. The only game we won recently was the game against Houston where Luke went crazy. Other than that, we literally been losing every game. So we're gonna have to rest those guys up, man.
Absolutely.
We need Luke. Man. I think Luke is the key to this entire team. Him and Sekou, but you got it when you have a dynamic shooter like Luke or JJ Redick or Prime, Kyle Korver, or even Tyler Hero. When you have a guy like that, it just changes everything.
I've come to the point where I don't really care if we trade Blake Griffin. I really don't. Like, I love Blake Griffin, and I appreciate everything he's done for this team, getting us back to the playoffs last season, and coming back too soon on a torn meniscus and playing 2 games against the Milwaukee Bucks and really almost changed the tempo and the outcome of that series. We still got swept, and we still lost by double digits, but we look different without him out there, and he showed me leadership there. But when you have a guy who doesn't really play defense, he's not a great defender to begin with, but doesn't really play defense and only playing on one leg, it's just tough when you're paying that kind of player so much money. And it's not like we brought Blake Griffin in here to be a big part of our plans for the future. Stan Van Gundy brought him in here to save his job. Stan Van Gundy wasn't bringing him in here to win an NBA championship. He traded a good young piece in Tobias Harris and a first-round draft pick to get him in here to save his job. And he was so bad at coaching, he couldn't make the playoffs. Go ahead, JMO.
Let me ask you a question. Do you regret getting Blake?
No, I don't. But, it wasn't like we were thinking.
I just wanted to ask that.
No, I was grateful.
Because even though Van Gundy did trade him to save his job, we needed a player.
We did.
Badly.
We did.
I ain't saying it took us to new heights or anything, but we're closer than we were. We would still be in purgatory for at least the next 3 years without Blake. And I'm not saying he took us out of purgatory, but you know exactly what I mean.
Well, no. And looking back at it, not too many people realized he was available. I don't really think the Clippers were actively trying to pursue, because if they were actively trying to pursue the trade, they would have had news coverage everywhere. But the amount that we gave up 4 players and a first-round draft pick. You're trying to tell me that there wasn't a better deal out there? I like Blake, and I'm glad we got him. But, again, he's not a long-term plan. I don't have a problem if we keep Blake, and I don't have a problem if we move on from Blake. It's just one of those deals where whatever the outcome is, it is what it is. That's kind of where I've come at.
But what do y'all think we could get for Blake, though?
I was about to say, I don't think the trade market is very good for Blake right now because everyone's watching. That's why I was like, wait, when is his contract up?
I think he's got 2 more years.
So that's why I was like, if we were to rest him and then let him ball out next year when he's actually healthy, trade him at All-Star break when he's playing better, because you're not going to get me to believe that this man is healthy when I'm watching with my eyes. And most people be like, well, he's taking a step back. Well, maybe he just had 3 knee surgeries like Derrick Rose. And after Derrick Rose's 3 knee surgeries, it took him 2 years to get back to where he is now. You can't be having all those surgeries and just come back, springing and jumping out the gym like that. So if we're looking at it from that perspective, then yeah, but if they trade him now, cool. I'm not at this point, nobody is gonna hold on to that unless Blake Griffin's your favorite player. I see a lot of y'all questions about Lonzo. I will explain it to y'all one day. Kurt Sean says Sekou is in the starting lineup. Man, I'll just say this quickly. With Lonzo, he's a point guard, right? On his team, he don't play point guard. So Bruce Brown played more point guard than Lonzo. And I'll just leave it at that.
Let's go ahead and transition to this one, man. Pistons are 11-17, 11-18, whatever you want to call it. 2 games out of the 8 seed with being that far below 500. I think we only have like a 38% win percentage. It's pretty bad. But the saddest thing is we're still in the playoff hunt, man. J-Mo, man, are you still confident that the Pistons are a playoff team right now?
No, not confident at all. Okay, I'll put it like this. If you look at the standing, sure. But if you asking me personally without looking at the standings and letting that, construe my opinion, then I'm not really confident. I just don't see I saw a lot of people talk about it earlier. I just don't see no fire in the team. And we keep losing games to all of these trash teams or middle of the road teams. Like, we losing to Charlotte 2-3 times, losing to Bulls 2 times, losing to I think Atlanta Hawks beat us once. Like, what? This is not a good team. And we're in a world of hurt right now. We're in big trouble. I would say out of these next 10 games, we don't at least go 500. We go from 11-17 to 14-23 real quick. So I'm very concerned about this team right now and making the playoffs, but because it's not, my main thing is Blake ain't gonna come to save us because he needs to be resting. Reggie Jackson is not gonna come and save us, no matter what y'all might think. So who's gonna come save us? The answer is nobody. And then you ended up with this team that we putting out on the court. You want me to believe that we're gonna make the playoffs, go out and beat the Bulls tonight by 10 points? Then maybe I'll believe.
You know who our savior is. You just don't want to say it.
Who? Sekou?
Nope.
Oh man, I'm not about to.
Mr. October.
Man, it is what it is.
You make a good point though, man. If this team is serious about taking the next step into being the playoff team, which going into back to the offseason, I had them being the 6th seed. It's not a very high expectation. That's about 45 wins or so, right around that ballpark, give or take. You have to beat teams like Charlotte and Chicago and Washington. You have to beat those teams. Blake Griffin, no Blake Griffin. Kennard, no Kennard. Drummond, no Drummond. Those teams are bad. And for some reason, whether it's coaching or the players don't care, they don't take those games too serious. And now, if you keep playing the way you're playing, this team could still be the 8th seed, which means, guess what? You have to play again in the first round, the Milwaukee Bucks. And it doesn't matter if we're 100% healthy or what, that's a sweep. The way Giannis is playing right now, the way Milwaukee's playing right now.
Man, bro, Giannis going to average 40 and 14, dog. Y'all better stop.
So the Pistons need to straighten this thing out right now if they're still a playoff team. And I think being in the East, they're still a playoff team. But right now, I don't know if they're going to get to the 6th seed. They would have to go on an incredible win streak to have a shot at that. The way they're playing right now, I mean, they still have a chance to make the 8th seed, but you don't want to make the 8th seed back-to-back years. The whole point of making the 8th seed last year was just to show that we're a competitive team in the Eastern Conference, which, it's not that big of an accomplishment. We went 41-41 last year. I mean, that's right at 500. You have to show improvement. We added Derrick Rose. We added Markieff Morris. We added Tony Snell. We drafted Sekou. We added a talent across the board. And we really haven't shown that much improvement from last season, which has been disappointing to me. They're still a playoff team. They're still going to be the 8th seed unless, they trade Blake and Andre and decide to blow it up. I don't know. I can't predict the future. They're still a playoff team, but right now they're not showing me that they're a 6th seed or, hell, even a 7th seed right now. But, Miles, man, what about you? Do you still think this team's a playoff team? Are you confident they're a playoff team?
Man, going into it, I had some – can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Going into it, I had pretty decent expectations like you. I thought 6th seed was realistically possible. But, that was assuming the team was going to be relatively healthy. And we all know that this team relies on the health of our players. And then, we started the season off. We beat the Pacers away, and then we beat the Nets right before we got Blake back. So it was looking pretty promising. But then we just started losing to the bad teams, like you guys said. We lost to the Hornets 3 times. We lost to the Hawks. We lost to the Wizards twice. Bulls twice. And like you guys said, there's just no fire. It doesn't seem like. Christian Wood had some fire. Derrick Rose, I think he has some fire in him. Luke Kennard has some fire in him, but overall, the team as a whole doesn't feel like it has like a real direction. It doesn't seem like there's much camaraderie on the team. And that's that's what you need for a playoff team. I think obviously we can make the 8th seed. It's the East, and East trash. Even maybe we can make the 7th seed if we really put it together. I think, but that's about as high as I think we can go. And even then, I don't know who the second seed in the East would be, but it's not gonna look good for us. So
I believe it's Boston.
Yeah, Boston. Yeah, that we saw how that went. So I think we can make the playoffs. I don't think we deserve to make the playoffs, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the point of making the playoffs if you go and face Milwaukee in the first round?
Yeah, there's no. Yeah,
so we can break a new record, longest team plus a year without a playoff win. Like, come on.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been disappointing. It's been tough, man. It's been tough, but like we don't have a starting point guard, and this organization, and I don't know if it's been a Dwayne Casey decision. I don't know if it's been an Ed Stefanski decision, but they haven't tried to improve anything at all. We haven't had a point guard since game 1. Reggie got hurt, I believe it was game 1, right? We haven't done anything to improve that position. We gave Bruce an opportunity, and I understand you don't want to take away a young person's opportunity, but if you're serious about winning now, you have to go out there and get a point guard. Tony Snell's the only small forward we got. We don't have any defenders, hardly at all as a team. Looking at it in the offseason, I figured we would throw a lineup out there that would go out there and play defense, and we're one of the worst defensive teams in the league, man. I'm not sure where we were at, but we're down there. Washington's the worst. I know we're better than them, defensively at least, but
How about to say, are we really?
Yeah, statistically we are, but it's. I keep saying it.
Yeah,
the Pistons as an organization have a culture. We have 3 NBA championships built off of defense. You're never going to win in the Pistons red, white, and blue if you don't play defense. We have the formula for winning championships here in Detroit. It's crazy to me that coaches and players come here don't want to take part in that culture and really establish it. I think we were close when we had people like Marcus Morris here who embraced it. Certainly Markieff is a nice player to have, but he's not his brother Marcus. We don't have leaders who are embracing the way of the bad boys and the going to work Pistons. And as one of the rare things as an organization in all of sports that they already have an identity and a culture, and we are miles away from being as good as either one of those two teams right there.
I agree. I think I really like Seku's attitude for the team. I think it's something we can build around. Did you guys see him get ejected from that one game?
And the G League?
G League, yeah.
I did not see that.
It wasn't even.
I don't get to watch.
It wasn't even that bad. He just pushed some dude down, and then he was talking shit. But I like that. I think we could build around Sekou, someone like that who has the fire.
Yeah, I saw.
Good.
I saw E-Dog say, "Why not blow it up? Blow up what?" And that's my point. What is there to blow up?
I mean, the world
trade Blake,
up, but
Wow, trade Blake. That's one trade. Like, it's nothing to blow up. Like that's what people don't understand. There's nothing to blow up. Now, if you want to trade, if you trade Drake and trade Andre, to me that's not even blowing up, unless you trade them for draft picks. But to me, that's not gonna help the team at all.
Probably not. I got one more question and topic before we switch it over to the chat for you guys to ask us anything you want. Milwaukee Bucks went ahead and beat the LA Lakers pretty convincingly, which has put Milwaukee as the best team in all of the NBA, both in the East and in the West. Personally, I believe it's true, but I'm going to ask you this, Miles and JMO. Do you guys think Giannis is officially the best player in the league? Miles, I'm going to let you start this one out.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the Milwaukee Bucks, though, they're an overall great team. I think they're the best team. But Giannis especially, man, he's got the leadership. He scores 30 points a game, however many rebounds, however many assists. He's got the stats. And now he's hitting threes. Like, is there really anything we could do? Like, if he keeps hitting these threes as consistently as he is throughout the season, I don't see how he's not the MVP, the best player in the league.
A lot of LeBron James fans keep denying it because they don't want to see their golden boy get taken down. But LeBron's been in the league for what, 17 years, 18 years, whatever it is. I mean, at some point it has to happen. And there's a lot of points against Giannis. He doesn't really have a meaningful playoff win yet. He swept the Pistons. Pistons didn't have Blake Griffin. They beat the Celtics. They were okay, but I mean, they had that whole drama last season, and then
that ain't no excuse. Celtics that was a good win, man.
Yeah, it was, and then Kawhi and the Raptors had the formula to stop him. He doesn't have a ring yet. It's all cool, but I mean, it is what it is. Personally, he is the most talented player in the league right now. JMO, let's go ahead and pass it to you before we go ahead and open up the chat.
Well, as most of you might know, I've been the biggest proponent of Giannis even since last year, even before last year. I remember on my channel, if you're not subscribed, make sure you go subscribe to 313 JMO. But on my channel about 3 years ago, I made a video saying that it was either going to be Giannis or Kawhi Leonard that was going to take the crown from LeBron. And it's funny that they matched up last year with LeBron out the playoffs, but Kawhi is 27 years old and in his prime, and Giannis is a young pup. But anyway, Giannis is the best player in the league. And I think a lot of people they would usually reject certain player being better than LeBron because it's like the eye test. Like, he's not as big, he's not as strong, he's not as fast. But Giannis is. He's bigger, he's faster, maybe not stronger, and he can pass just as well as young LeBron can. And now he can shoot the three ball, and he's a way better defensive player than LeBron James. So, I mean, he can guard all five positions, dribble. He's literally a 7-foot LeBron James. That's what Giannis is. So, and the only thing that kept him from truly being a 7-foot LeBron was his shot. And now he's shooting the three ball. It's a wrap. It's over. It's over. With when Vince Carter, did the game-winning dunk. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's over. Like, he's shooting threes. It's a wrap. He's going to win a championship, whether it's this year or next year or the year after, whenever. It's over. Like, he's the best player in the NBA, and I wanted to say, you don't have to be the champion or the reigning champion to be the best player in the NBA. LeBron's been the best player in the NBA when he didn't have a championship. Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal. It's been guys that's been the best player. If you want to give Kevin Durant the 2014 year, didn't have a championship. So that I'm not buying that because most people are like, well, he don't have a ring, so he can't be the best player. That makes no sense. Just means he's not the most accomplished.
People are basically calling ESPN some homie hoppers in the chat. I'm here for it. I like it. It's funny. But you guys can see that down there at the bottom of the screen. We've been on for an hour and some change, so we want to answer you guys' questions that we did not get to in the beginning. So whether it's Pistons related or NBA related, go ahead and put those questions in the chat. You can direct it to me, you can direct it to Miles, you can direct it to JMO, or you can go ahead and open it up to the whole panel, and we'll go ahead and answer it individually, take turns. And if you don't direct it to anybody directly, I will determine who it will go to. But while we're giving you guys some time to post those in the comment section, links to the DSA members are in the description. So if you're not subscribed to JMO, guess what? His link's in there as well. Instagram and Twitter links for my Twitters and Instagram are in the description as well at the top. And then go ahead and follow. Man, I can't talk. Go ahead and follow Miles on Twitter. Miles, what is your Twitter handle again?
It's at Let's Go Miles. At Let's Go Miles on Twitter.
JMO, man, this one's directed right to you. Pin Bob Sponge wants to know, what do you think about trading for Lonzo? Should we target him?
Are you serious, Pin Bob Sponge?
Is that your burner account, JMO?
like, that's not my burner account. Is that actually a question? Come on, guys. All right, look, I'll be subtle.
Hey, but how do we get Lonzo though? In your opinion?
I don't know. That's the thing. Because look, this is the thing. Regardless of how he's playing in New Orleans, regardless of how he's playing, I have a feeling that there's no way David Griffin is going to trade him, because when him and Zion were playing together, they look very scary together. So I think he wants to see that combination come to fruition. But maybe they get unwise because they try to move Drew Holiday for a reason, so Lonzo can get more minutes and opportunity. But I mean, I feel like the way to trade for Lonzo is being aggressive. You have to be willing to go get a player. Make them an offer they can't refuse.
Gleaming, they said that Christian Wood is going to be reevaluated here in a week. Good news is the MRI didn't show any tears in his knee. Said it was just bruised, so he'll be reevaluated here in a week. But it shouldn't be anything long term or serious. Milo wants to know, will Sekou be a bust? Miles, what do you think about that one?
I mean, I don't know, but all I'm saying is, based on what we've seen, we really can't make a judgment. I think he has a lot of upside, a lot of promise. And like you look at Giannis and you look at Siakam, when they started, they weren't stars right away, right? Like they took some time to develop. And I think that's what we're doing with Sekou. Whether we're doing it correctly, probably not. I think you should get more NBA minutes right now. I think that's the best way to develop him. But I mean, no, I don't think he's a buzz. As of now, there's really no way to tell. But in like maybe a year and a half, I think we'll have a way better look at what kind of player he's going to develop into.
I'll answer that question with a no. He's not going to be unless he gets a serious type of injury. He's not going to be a bust. That dude is special.
Well, he's not going to be a bust in this fact alone. He was a top 10 projected draft pick, fell to 15. I mean, it doesn't matter if he's going to be a bust. It's not like we reached for him. It's not like we took him number 2 overall or number 1 overall. Yeah, right. So I mean, even if he's just going to be an okay player, like you got him at 15. You really can't complain.
No, man, Seiko's going to be special, man. He got too many skills. He has too many skills at that young an age, and he's only been playing basketball for 6 years. No, that dude's different.
eDog1234 wants to know what our least favorite team is. Me personally, it's the New York Knicks. I've never liked the Knicks. Nothing personal against them. I don't like rooting for them. JMO, man, what's your least favorite team?
Oh, it's definitely, ironically, the Boston Celtics. I hate the Boston Celtics with every fiber of my being, and that's about it. I hate the Celtics.
Miles, what's your least favorite team?
I'm relatively new to the league, so I would say the Warriors, man. It's just I know overall the team
that's a good team to hate.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been dominant like in their history, but the last fucking 5 years or whatever, that's been rough.
JMO, man, if Sekou started, how many points per minute would he score?
If Sekou started, he would average 15. I ain't gonna say points per minute, but all right, I'll say he averaged 14 or 13 right off the bat.
Yeah, that's pretty realistic expectation there. It just depends on how many minutes he's going to be playing if he started. But, there's not a whole lot to feed off of that one. James says, which college player have you guys been looking at as a draft prospect? Miles, are you a big college guy?
Nah, I'll pass this one to you guys. I'm not super knowledgeable.
It's not March Madness yet, so I haven't been watching that much. So JMO, we don't got the guy Bravo on today. That would be his question. But JMO, is there anyone in college you got your eye on right now?
I mean, not nothing besides the main picks that everyone else is looking at: Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, guys like that, guys that we can't get, But unless the team got really bad, but that's about it.
Joey, there is absolutely no way Devin Booker is available, and if so, I'd be the first one to hop all over that one. But there's no way Phoenix is going to trade him unless he demands a trade. Um, let's see, Pim Bob Sponge. If we could trade, if we can get D'Lo or someone, but Sekou had to go, would you do it? See, that's tough because in the East, D'Lo is an all-star. We don't know what Sekou's going to be yet. I really don't want to trade Christian Wood, Luke Kennard, Sekou, or Bone because I think that's a pretty good young core right there. I really don't want to trade Sekou, but at the same time, you're getting someone in his prime who would be an all-star. Go ahead, Jamo.
I was gonna say what I always say: if it's not a superstar, don't talk to me about Luke Kennard or Sekou. I don't care who they are. You're not a superstar.
Would you consider D'Lo a superstar in the East, though?
No, not a superstar. He's an all-star, good enough, but I'm not giving Sekou or Luke up for anybody unless they're a superstar.
I know. Pretty good answer. What about you, Miles? Would you trade Sekou for anyone less than a superstar, even though that D'Lo is an all-star?
Probably not. I don't even think anyone. There's hardly anyone yet that would really bring us to the next level, anyways. So maybe so we could get someone that would bring us to like 60, but that's not enough. So I think we should keep Sekou, man. I think he has a lot of promise.
Let's see. Benjamin says, question: why keep Andre for 5 years? Lose, then he walks at 31 in ring chase. Please answer this. It's tough because I don't want to pay Andre.
You don't know if we're gonna lose,
so. Right? As a franchise, we really haven't done a good job surrounding Andre with talent to help him make him better. When Stan Van Gundy took over the team, he wanted to do what he did in Orlando. The only thing is Andre and Dwight aren't the same player. He wanted to surround Andre with 4 shooters and never really gave him good 4 shooters. And then before that, we had 3 big men on the team. We put Josh Smith at small forward, even though he's really a power forward. And we put Greg Monroe, a center, in at power forward, and then threw Andre in there at the center. That was just a terrible, terrible idea. And now, we gave him Reggie Jackson, who's been super inconsistent for us. You give him an injury-prone Blake Griffin. And when healthy, they have done pretty well, but we haven't seen them healthy for a long stint of time. They really haven't done a good job of surrounding Andre with talent and giving Andre a super max deal, which is $200, $250 million. You're going to invest a lot of money into one player, and you're not really going to be able to surround him with that much talent in free agency. That means you get more pressure to finish Luke Kennard's development. That means you have to develop Sekou. That means you have to develop Bruce Brown. That means you have to develop Sekou, and you have to draft right, which historically the Pistons have not drafted right in the first round forever. They got it right with Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, and Grant Hill. And I guess you can throw Andre in there. They've really been a later round, maybe second round, late first round drafting team over the years. I don't trust this team to draft at all. And it's hard for the Pistons to bring in people from free agency.
And I was just going to say, we don't know if for the next 5 years we're going to be losing with Andre Drummond. It depends on the team you put around him. That's why we're screaming for point guards like D'Lo, point guards like Lonzo, guards that can be good in the pick and roll and use Andre's abilities to the best of his ability. You don't know the team that's going to be around him, and I'm definitely not giving him a super max. He can take a max, though.
You have to pay him when he's valued, and you got to pay him like a top center in the league because there's not that many centers better than him. So you have to pay him around 20 to 25 million. That's what the market for him is. And if we don't offer him that, some other team will. There's going to be teams desperate enough to throw him the max, the super max, and they're not going to be happy with it in the long haul. But what about you, Miles, man? What's the point of keeping Andre if we can't win?
I mean, like you guys said, it really depends on what we do around him. I mean, there's a lot of things we could do that would fix, the losing situation that we've had for the last years. But I mean, I think I agree with you guys. We don't supermax him, but do you guys think he would be willing to stay if we just gave him the max? I'm just curious.
I don't know, because Andre has said things at the beginning of the season like he is interested to see what other teams are going to say to him. He wants to experience what it's like to be a sought after free agent. I believe Brandon Ingram is a free agent too, and if he keeps playing the way that he's playing right now, I think he's going to be one of the top free agents out there. But really looking at it right now, Andre is going to be a top 5 free agent out there. So I think he's looking forward to that, and I think there's going to be teams who offer him a lot of money. But I don't know if Andre feels the same way towards him. But Tom Gores looks at him like a son. Tom Gores adores Andre Drummond, so I think he's going to throw him the bag. I don't know if Andre's going to take it. A lot of the fans here in Detroit don't like Andre. Last year, Game 3 of the playoffs, he got booed by almost everyone at the arena at home. I don't know why Andre would stay here. The franchise, we kind of compared him to Matthew Stafford. Maybe not talent-wise, but as an organization, they haven't done a good job of putting teams around either one of those players. So why would you stay here in a league where players hop team to team? He's not a LeBron. He's not a Kevin Durant. All those players have jumped teams to make a better career for themselves. So why won't someone of a lesser value like Andre Drummond do the same thing? He goes to the Mavericks. That's a big 3 with Luka, Porzingis, and Andre. He goes to Boston. It's a great system for point guards and centers. I mean, they were holding it down with Al Horford, Aaron Baines last year. That's pretty impressive. And now Kemba's in the same. For some reason, Brad Stevens knows how to use some point guards, man. And you give Kemba, Andre Drummond, it's going to be barbecue chicken all day long. So I mean, there's better fits for Andre out there than the Pistons. Plus, I don't know how the chemistry is like in the locker room right now. So he might be gone no matter what.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like, I would love to keep him because he's, we need that. We need a great, solid center like him. Mm-hmm. But if I were him, man, I think I would at least see what people are offering and see where you could go, and maybe he could get a ring.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why you got to trade him. There's a big portion of Pistons fans that don't want to trade him. I mean, I'm iffy on Andre Drummond. I'm not really a fan of him, but I'm not nearly as hard on him as some other people are. But the thing is, if the only way he's going to stay is if we offer him a super max, then we have to trade him. That's why I said trade him to the Pelicans with Jackson Hayes and Lonzo. Because you get a replacement center and you get a point guard. Jackson Hayes is a mother effing beast. So, trust me, he'll never rebound like Andre, but that kid is going to be one of the best centers in the league, no doubt. So, you gotta move him somewhere.
I agree. We should
trade him. The thing is, the teams that want to trade for Drummond, they don't have Alonzo or Jackson Hayes. It's teams like Charlotte. Now, I love Devontae Graham. I'll take him. What else they got? Bismack Biyombo and Devontae Graham? Like I don't like that. I want
that's
young,
the funny thing about it, though.
Players, though.
As Pistons fans for the last decade, we have been looking for that trade. Trade rumors are a very big part of basketball, but here in Detroit, we're desperate for it. Look what we're saying right now. We're trying to trade our garbage and turn it into gold. And other teams are saying the exact same thing about Andre. Like you just said, look at what does Charlotte got? They got nothing. We're not going to get equal value for Andre Drummond. What we got for Blake, or what we trade up for Blake Griffin.
We can get equal value from New Orleans, though. They got a lot of players.
Yeah, but how desperate are they going to be? Like Andre for them, where they're at right now, if they trade Lonzo and they're going to run Drew Holiday, I don't know how well they're going to fit. It's really going to depend on Zion over there. Andre's not going to be the piece for them to take them over that hump. He'd make them better, and having him and Hayes come off bench would be a nasty 1-2 combo for center position. But someone like Boston, the Warriors, a team that's already been established, like Andre could be a piece for one of those teams to take him over the hump already. But we're not going to get equal value in return because people aren't going to overpay for a player they can get next year in free agency. And then for Blake Griffin, in his case, we're not going to get a Tobias Harris and a first round draft pick in return for him. So I mean, we have if they don't want to come back, and if we trade Andre, it pretty much telling me we're gonna have to trade Blake Griffin. We're not going to get value back in return. It's going to take us a year or two to recover from trading either one of those players. No matter if it's the Pelicans, the Warriors, the Celtics, the Hornets, whoever you want to throw at me, we're not going to get equal value back in return. And it's tough.
Well, the way I see it is, unless you trade both of them, you're going to have to pay one of them with Andre and Blake. So I don't necessarily think that you trade and you have to trade Blake. Because you could just let him play out his contract. If you trade Blake, you could just sign Andre Drummond, or you could let him walk. My thing is, if we lose Andre Drummond for nothing, I'm going to be pissed.
Right. I'm fine with losing players like Reggie for nothing. But Andre's an all-star.
And I'm ready to get Reggie away for 2 second-round picks, man.
Yeah, realistically, it'll probably be 1 second round. I don't know if it's going to
win. Hey, that second round, and we get Jordan Bone, get another Jordan Bone, he can go.
We've been on for an hour 20. That's a pretty long show. We've had a pretty good discussion. For those of you guys who have not, please hit that like button. JMO's link to his channel is in the description. You can go ahead and follow Miles on Twitter. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up because pretty soon I'm going to be heading down to Detroit. I'm in Flint, so it's about an hour plus drive for me. I got to gather up the squad to get ready to go watch the Pistons lose to the Chicago Bulls tonight. But JMO, man, what do you got for us for final thoughts today, man?
Man, the Pistons are lost, misguided, and they need a leader on the basketball court. Not in the locker room, not in their real lives, on the basketball court, because that's where the problems are. And I just hope we could either trade for that leader, or hopefully that leader appears out of thin air and his name is Sekou, or hopefully Blake finds his knees. But enough with all the hopefullys and back to reality. We got a big game tonight. I didn't pick us to win this game either, so I hope that me and Drew are very wrong. But it's time for the Pistons to put up or shut up. It's third of the season. It's already over with, so you don't have any room for error being behind the 8 ball. So I hope we win this game tonight. It'd be really nice. And I hope that Andre and Derrick Rose, because the Pistons are in a flux. Either we going to make some trades or we just going to be trash and let everybody walk. So we got to decide what we want to do.
Yeah, I think this is a must-win game. I mean, I know that's dramatic, and it's not.
No, it's not dramatic.
Yeah, you don't have to take it literally, but I mean, we need this win, bro. We lost 3 in a row to 2 good teams and the Wizards, but we lost 3 in a row. We need to get back on track. We need to get some chemistry going. We do need a leader, like you said, on the court. Without Blake there, I don't know who's leading. Maybe Drummond, but it doesn't really seem like he's that vocal leader that we need. And as for the overall team and the direction, if we lose this game tonight, I think we need to just start developing players as much as possible. I say bring up Bone, bring up Sekou, and it can't get that much worse. I don't think we'd get worse as a team. I think we would just at least have something to get excited about and see these players develop and get them prepared for the next season. But I know that's also dramatic, but like I said, I think best case scenario, this team makes the 7th seed, probably the 8th seed. And either of those slots will probably get swept. So I think we need to at least look a little further forward than just trying to make the playoffs this year.
Absolutely. On a positive note, at least we're not the New York Knicks. It could always get worse, but the Pistons are still just a piece away from being a good team. And a lot of fans don't want to be a good team. A lot of fans want to be the best team, but unfortunately, there's only one team that can be the best. Right now, the Pistons need to establish an identity. We don't have an identity. We don't do one thing well. We do a lot of things that are bad. We have to establish an identity and a culture, and really, really get something where we can't just keep saying, yeah, we need to go out here and trade for D'Lo. We need to go out here and trade for Westbrook. It's to the point where it shouldn't be the point where we need to go out here and trade for superstars or all-stars, some of the faces of the league. It needs to get to the point where when we bring in a guy like Markieff and a guy like Tony Snell, a guy who can fit the system, where we're like, that was a good pickup, and that's going to help us get better. I mean, Boston brought in Kemba Walker. That was a big signing for them. They lost Kyrie, but they look to be doing better with Kemba because he's not as selfish as Kyrie. But they get guys like, look at all their backup point guards like Wanamaker and all these other guys like you never hear of. They just fit the system. They get put into a spot and they do well. And the Pistons really need to get to that point. You've been the 8th seed twice in the last 5 years, and you have not gotten better. You need to show me improvement. Having people like Blake, Derrick Rose, and Drummond, you should definitely be better than the 10th seed. I think that's pretty much given. So it's been frustrating. Injuries have been playing a factor in it, but our coach Dwayne Casey has not shown improvement of getting on the guys about stop turning the ball over and play better defense. So in order for the Pistons to get better, we need to have not just a leader on the court. We really need to have Dwayne Casey be a leader as a coach and show the players what they're doing wrong. And if they don't respond to him, you have to get on to him about it. Blake, Andre, and Derrick Rose are the leaders of this team. And if they're not playing well and if they don't care, which Derrick Rose does care, Derrick Rose goes out there and he balls every night, whether he's dropping 30 or 10. But Blake and Andre need to step up and really show they can lead. And when they don't, Dwayne Casey needs to get on them about it. But hopefully we can get this win. Live streaming, we're 7-3 when I live stream. When I attend LCA, we're 1-1, I believe. So hopefully we'll be 2-1 in my attendance of going to LCA. But we appreciate you guys coming out tonight. Like I said, links to DSA members are in the description. Go sub to the 313 JMO. He is a Pelicans fan. I'm surprised he doesn't do more Pelican videos, actually. But he talks about.
I am not a Pelicans fan.
I'm sorry, he's a Lonzo fan. So
it's funny, Drew.
I'm surprised he doesn't drop more videos about them. But go subscribe to JMO. He's got a lot of hot takes. And then go ahead and go follow Miles on Twitter. Instagram and Twitter for mine are in the description as well. But with that being said, man, I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully with the vlog of LCA. You guys have a good night, and peace out.